Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to break down a really simple communication move that can get pretty much anyone to buy into your ideas. You know, it's funny, it's not really about what you say, but what you ask. And that little switch can be the difference between a huge breakthrough and a total breakdown.
So, okay, let's jump right in with the story. Picture this guy, Mike. He's in front of his team, he's totally confident, he's got this killer idea. He just puts it out there nice and simple. We should switch vendors now. Makes sense, right? It's direct, it's clear.
But this is what he gets back. Just nothing. Blank stares. You can almost feel the air go out of the room. His great idea, it just dies right there. Nobody's listening anymore.
But here's the thing. Mike's idea was actually good. So what on earth went wrong? Well, it wasn't the what, it was the how. See, he just dropped a solution on them without ever inviting them into the problem first. And that, right there, brings us to the whole point of this. The real secret to getting people on your side isn't about making a better statement. It's about asking a better question before you even dream of making that statement.
So Mike tries again, but this time he does a complete 180. Instead of telling, he asks. He opens up the conversation and bam, the whole room just lights up. Suddenly people are talking, they're sharing their own frustrations. The entire energy of the meeting just flips.
You know, a phrase as simple as, hey, let me get your thoughts on something. It's like a magic key. It unlocks the conversation. It turns what would have been a monologue, you just talking at people, into a real dialogue where you're all building something together.
And what this does is set off this really powerful chain reaction. When you ask first, you're not just being nice. You're actually engaging their brain, you're making them feel respected, and you're lowering their natural resistance. And that simple act turns people who might have been critics into partners, which clears the way for your idea to actually land.
So why is this so powerful? I mean, what's really going on here? Well, the answer is pretty fascinating. It's all in our psychology. This isn't just about good manners, it's about tapping into how our brains are actually wired.
Psychologists actually have a name for this. It's called the ownership effect. It's this cognitive bias we all have. And to put it simply, we just place a way higher value on things we feel like we had a hand in creating. When people feel like they co-own an idea, they'll fight for it.
Yeah, our brains are just wired to commit to whatever we help build. It's the exact same reason you secretly love that wobbly bookshelf you put together yourself, right? That's the IKEA effect in action. So when you ask someone for their thoughts, you literally switch their brain from a defensive mode into a creative, problem-solving one. And this just shows the difference so perfectly. A leader who walks in and says, here's what we're going to do, well, they'll probably get compliance. People will do it. But the leader who says, before we decide, what are your thoughts? They get real, genuine commitment. And that's a world of difference. Okay, so we get the why. Now let's get down to the how. This part right here is your practical toolkit. We're talking about the exact phrases and questions you can start using like today to open minds and get people on board.
I want you to think about your questions in 3 basic types. First, there's the open invite. This is what sparks curiosity. Then you've got the collaborative question, which is what creates that all-important feeling of ownership. And finally, the confirmatory question, which builds agreement and makes the other person feel heard and validated.
So the real key here is how you frame it. You want to keep your question short, direct, and totally open-ended. And then, and this is maybe the most important part, once you ask it, you just get quiet. Be silent and really listen. That silence is incredibly powerful. Now you have to be careful to avoid these common traps. Don't ask questions that are really just your opinion with a question mark slapped on the end. You know, a question like, don't you think we should switch vendors? That's not a real question, it's a statement in disguise. And all it does is pressure someone into agreeing with you.
And look, this isn't just some corporate strategy for the boardroom. The real magic of asking first is how it can totally transform communication in every part of your life, from your colleagues to your family.
So in a team meeting, instead of just announcing a change, you invite people to analyze the situation with you. That simple flip from a statement to a question turns what could have been an argument into a really productive brainstorming session. Or let's say you're with the client. When you ask them about their challenges before you present your solution, it makes them feel completely understood. And it guarantees that when you do offer your idea, it lands as the perfect answer to a problem they literally just told you they have.
And this even works wonders at home. A statement like, "we should spend more time together," can kind of sound like an accusation, can't it? But if you frame it as a collaborative question, "how can we?" it becomes an invitation to build a stronger connection, together.
All right, so knowing this stuff is one thing, but actually putting it into practice is where the real change happens. So to help you get the hang of this, I've got a super simple 3-day challenge for you to try out.
On day 1, I just want you to focus on flipping 3 statements you'd normally make into questions. Easy enough. On day 2, try out that power phrase, "let me get your thoughts on," just a couple of times. Then on day 3, practice asking a follow-up question to dig a little deeper. Just do it and pay attention to what happens. I promise, the results will speak for themselves.
Because here's the bottom line, really. Inclusion beats instruction. Every single time. People don't just want to be told what to do, they want to be part of the solution. When you ask first, you don't just get their attention, you get their commitment. So, think about the next important conversation you're going to have. Are you going to lead with a statement, or are you going to lead with a question?